Today's video is sponsored by Susan Express. Elevate your game by following Don't Eat Dog Gaming and getting your platinum at the best prices around from my good friend Susan, who is definitely a real woman. And don't forget, use promo code TOSViolation at checkout for 10% off your next order. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Don't Eat Dog Gaming, where we focus on not eating dog because that's bad, and some gaming. On today's video, we're not going to be doing the attack speed content that I promised, as I did run into some issues with that. Today's video is going to be about skill damage, and it is going to be a long video. We found out in the previous videos on charm damage that the charm damage was not applying to modified abilities, or not all modified abilities. So what about skill damage? Does skill damage apply to it? We don't know. I didn't want to do my reforges until I found this out, so I figured great opportunity to do a video. It's going to be a long video. We have a few different things we have to cover, and we're going to break the video down into 5 different parts. First off, going to be quick. We're going to confirm that the modified version of Impale does not benefit from plus charm damage percentage. Second is we're going to see if the modified Impale benefits from skill damage. And then we're going to step over into the vanilla version of the ability that both of them should apply to, both skill damage and charm damage. And we're going to test that out and see how they work. When we figured all that out, we're going to figure out the damage stacking formula for skill damage. So we found out previously in the charm damage video that your charm damage was additive with the mastery damage increase, for example, and that was changing the percentage increase that we ended up with. So we're going to test that out and figure out what the formula for that is for skill damage. So going to be a long video. Let's get started and see how far we get. Okay, so part 1. First up, we're going to test out the modified Impale along with no charm equipped to see what our base damage is. It's 2353. Okay, now we're going to do the exact same test, but with the plus 2% Impale damage charm equipped. 2353. So no difference at all, exactly as we saw in the charms video I did before, which is perfect, exactly what we're hoping to get. Let's move on to step 2. All right, time for part 2. We're going to run the exact same test. We've just swapped in a 4% skill damage offhand, and if the 4% gets added on top of the previous base number of 2353, we'll end up with 2447. If it's additive with the 18% that we get from the main hand mastery for Impale, then we're going to end up with around 2432. Let's see what we get. 2431. So basically, yes, 2431, 2432, same thing. It is additive, and that means we end up with 4% skill damage. We end up with actually 3.3% increase in damage, again, because it is additive, and we know that's how that works. That's good to know, though. It's good to know that skill damage works because charm damage does not. So this is actually good news. Let's move on to step number 3. All right, time for part 3. So we found out that charm damage did not apply to the modified Impale, and skill damage did. And we also know from the previous videos I've done on charm damage that charm damage was additive, and skill damage, as we saw in today's video, is also additive with your mastery damage increase essences. So we're going to test out with no charm, no skill damage increase. We're going to get a base damage, and let's see what that number is first. Okay, 2984. Now, we're going to go ahead and add in not only the 2% charm, we're also going to put in a couple skill damage ones here. So we're going to equip, transfer, and equip, don't transfer. I'm just doing that so I'm not carrying over the item level, which would have strength and change our numbers. Okay, so equip, and then transfer, and then don't transfer. So 4% skill damage on the offhand, 4% skill damage on the main hand, and 2% off the charm. So if we were correct about it being additive, we should get an increase of exactly 10% off of our base number. 3283. Basically exactly correct. So that's additive for skill damage and charm damage and they both apply to vanilla version of the ability. Okay, so we're about to start Part 4. Now, Part 4 is going to take the charged version of Impale, and which comes with an 18% increase through Essence Mastery, and we're going to start adding skill damage to it, as well as Awakening, and we're going to see if all of those are additive and how it scales up the damage on the ability. If we've done our work properly, we should be able to calculate exactly how much additional damage we get as we add each one. So let's start off by getting a base number with this version of Impale. That's 4259. Okay, so we've swapped in the skill damage on the main hand as well as the offhand, which gives us an additional 8% on top of the 18% that was already there from the Essence Mastery. So we have to take the 4259 that we got, and we divide that by 1.18 to take away the 18% mastery damage, and then add up the 18% plus the 8% from the skill damage, so 26%, which would mean times 1.26, and that would give us 4547 is what we should be getting. Let's see what happens. 4545. We're always going to be off by just a couple of points just because of the way the system deals with fractions that it doesn't show us. But that's good. That is accurate so far. Okay, so now we've added in the Essence Mastery. So if you were wondering why I had that Everlasting Torment sitting in the other socket unawakened, it's because I wanted to be able to add it in for Awakening without messing up the resonance level and damage increase that comes with it. So the Awakening on this gives us an additional 10% damage. So if the damage from the Awakening is also additive with the rest of them, we're now going to have a total of 8% from skill damage on the two weapons, 18% from Mastery, as well as 10% from Awakening, which puts us at a total of plus 36% damage. Now, if we are dealing with plus 36% damage, that means we take our 4259 we had, divide by 1.18, multiply by 1.36, and that's telling us that we should be at 4908 approximately. Let's see how close we are. 4901, that's about as close as we can get. All right, so in general, we were quite close with how all the numbers were working. Again, there's always going to be fractions, numbers that get cut off and we don't see, so the projections are going to be slightly off, which is to be expected. We're going to test out one last thing in terms of damage stacking, and that is I swapped out the Everlasting Torment with the Berserker's Eye, which gives us an additional 16% damage. So we're going to test out now to see if that 16% is also additive with the skill damage, or if we get an actual 16% increase over the 4901 that we just had. 5685. Okay, that's excellent. That's actually an exact 16% increase on top of the existing skill damage, charm, mastery, everything else you have. So the damage from your legendary gems is going to be an additional, exactly as you see it, damage multiplier over top of that. We went 4901 to 5685. We didn't lose anything, not even a fraction of a percent off of that. So that's very good to know. So we've confirmed that in terms of what is additive, charm damage, essence mastery damage, as well as awakening damage and skill damage, all of those are additive together, but they are separate from plus damage on your legendary gems. Very important information to have. All right, guys, that concludes this video. We were able to answer some questions. One was that charm damage, as we already assumed, did not work with the modified version of Impale. We were able to confirm, fortunately, that skill damage does indeed affect it, including the modified versions of essences and abilities. We showed that skill damage and charm damage were additive. We also found that they were additive together in combination with awakening damage, as well as your essence mastery damage. So awakening damage, mastery damage, skill damage, and charm damage are all considered from the same pool of damage. Whatever you increase on any of them, they will get combined together. They don't multiply together, they get combined, they're additive. And we also confirmed that legendary plus damage percentage gems are completely separate from that. So whatever number you get from adding your Awakening Mastery skill and charm damage, whatever number you end up at, if you add a plus damage gem, that will multiply that by exactly the percentage that you see. So that is very good information to have as well. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, guys. I do appreciate it. The feedback on the videos has been a lot better than I expected. If you do like this content and you want more of it, like and subscribe. I definitely appreciate it, especially on this video. It did take me a lot longer to get this up than I was expecting. I've been working on it for a few days, just double-checking numbers and a whole lot of stuff. Anyway, I have more ideas for more content and that I want to get to. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care, and again, thank you so much for not eating dogs, as that is a terrible, terrible thing to do. See ya.